lovely co-host. What's your name?
Lady Elizabeth. Autumn. McDonald's gross.
Yes. And our off-camera wonderful lovely lady, Carol. That was so...
Hello.
There you go. And she's like the Ed McMahon of the show. She's just never going to appear unless she's in a bubble one day floating around here, which could happen. We'll see. Anywho, so it's wonderful to be on the podcast tonight because I feel as though I could possibly be getting ill. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. And both Carol and Beth make fun of me that I haven't decided whether I'm sick or not when they've both decided that I am. I'm just not feeling 100% like myself. And so that means I could possibly be getting sick. I said at that time, did you hear it? I said sick.
Hopefully it's just a crud.
I think that it is. I think just the change of seasons and stuff. Plus I just took my shot, which you can tell because I have my first shot zit this week. So this is fantastic. I love it so much. And you're having snackadoos. What are your snackadoos for date night? Show people and talk about it for a second. We never do this for people. We just pig out and be gross on Friday night date night. And Carol's just finding this out about us, and it's sort of shameful.
Well, I've got my Takis crisps, which are fuego flavored.
Delicious,
like
gross,
salty and spicy.
and awful for you. Lots of dye.
Sweet tarts.
And the loudest rapper in the world.
Jolly Rancher gummies.
With titanium plastic.
Necco wafers.
Oh my God, the oldest candy in the world, known by only old people.
And some tea.
Okay, but the tea's good because that's mine. So I can't even fault you for that. And I'm drinking my buy drink. Oops. And so we go and we get our snackadoos and we go to Walgreens and I have a big bag of chocolate because I'm that person that gets big bags of chocolate, and somehow it didn't make it onto the thing and didn't make it out to the car, therefore didn't make it home. So I'm a little bummed. That's all right because we're just right down the road from the store, so I can go get my chocolate and be my embarrassing self on Saturday. Hey, see, or on Friday night. Some people get alcohol, right? Some people smoke crack. I like chocolate. So, and I pay for it. I do, and I need. Okay, well, pots. Medicinal. Yeah, I mean, come on. Well, so is chocolate. Chocolate is medicinal. It's also good for your heart, but that's dark chocolate. And what I had tonight had maybe 5 dark chocolate bars in it, but the rest was all just milk chocolate, which I love so much. But okay, I can't be thinking about that. We have bigger issues to talk about tonight. Big issues, and this is why I'm excited to do the podcast, because this is a little different. So I've got some opinions on things that might not be the norm most of the time. But for once in my life, I have an opinion that is the same in the house. Like, we all share this opinion about this certain thing that we're going to talk about in a minute. And so it's good to have a support group surrounding that. Now, I have a buddy. This is what I want to talk about right now. I have a buddy. I know. I heard you say God. Besides Joe. I know everybody thinks that Joe is like my only friend. But I have a buddy named Pete. Now, I was going to tell the lamest joke in the world. The joke of Pete and repeat. Because that's what I think of every single time I hear the name Pete. I think of this stupid joke, Pete and repeat. If you don't know the joke, Google it, but I'm not even going to waste my breath telling it because it's like a Laffy Taffy joke. You know what joke it is, right? Pete and repeat. Okay, so Google it and you can laugh on your own, but not with me.
I doubt you'll laugh, though.
You probably won't. So I did laugh today whenever I thought about it because Pete lives in Texas. At least the last knowledge that I had of Pete lives in Texas. And so now whenever I think about Texas, because since we moved here to Illinois, there's like a ton of floods that have happened in Texas, which is unusual. So we leave Texas and the drought ends. And so I was thinking about the joke, Pete and repeat, and I was thinking about how Pete lives in Texas, and so in my mind, I drew an entire comic strip of Pete and repeat in this boat, in this flood, and when you read the joke, it'll make sense. And so I'm sitting there giggling to myself, and I was thinking, what must people associate with me? If you're like just chilling there and you're thinking, you hear from me, you think about me, whatever, how do you associate me with certain things? And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about Pete, and then the universe provided and answered, and I had somebody text me and tell me that they connect me to the insurance guy on the commercial. You're turning into your father. So I'm that guy that tells everybody how not to be their parents. That was humbling. So today I am wearing not my Mr. Rogers cardigan.
Grown-up cardigan.
It is. I am wearing my nice guru clothes that I used to wear. So I got into myself a little bit today. And so I'm making an effort to not be 1,000 years old all the time. So all I wanted was my damn chocolate. That's it. I just wanted my damn chocolate, and somehow I managed, probably because I smoke pot, managed to have it in my grasp and somehow make it home without it. Bummer. Big fat bummer. I almost spent Alex's rewards of $50. And it occurred to me at the last second. So, it's good that I didn't. Okay, so are we ready to talk about this subject? Speaking of Pete Morales, he is someone that I would adopt into the family. I would adopt him because he is one of the funniest people that I know. And if y'all want to stalk him, y'all figure out who he is and stalk him, because I think that's hilarious. He's a funny guy, and he checked in with me, and when he checked in with me, I was like, you know what, this dude cares. Pete cares, and I care. I want to adopt him. And then I was like, oh my God, that's where the idea came from. So here's the deal. We watch a show called Adult Adoptions. And I need to talk about it because I don't have anyone else to talk to about it. Now.
Except for 2 other people?
No, I'm talking about, So, I'm confused by the whole thing because as a life coach, I try to teach adults that they don't need anyone to take care of them because they're adults. Right? So that makes me confused by the adult adoption thing. Now, when I say adult adoption thing, if you haven't watched the show, it is literally where people adopt adults. Is there any other way to put it?
That's it.
Adopt adults as their children.
There you go. So I do understand how a family might adopt for the holidays an elderly person, when they need family, or even a young person, whoever, you adopt people around the holidays sometimes. You even sometimes sponsor people. But I was really confused by the whole adult adoption thing. So, yes. Beth, what is your take on it, and when is there a circumstance that it's okay to say, I want to be adopted as an adult? Don't you dare put that in your mouth. Schmack. That thing is so loud.
I'll answer first.
Thank you.
And then my reward for answering is to eat this.
Yes, please, make that your reward. Crunch away.
What was the question?
Her stupid Necco wafer is now going to be a reward for her answering the question because it's so godforsaken loud. Okay. I don't remember what the question was. What were we talking about? I'm joking. You really don't remember the question?
No, I'm thinking about Necco wafer.
Are you serious right now?
It was about the adult adoption and what I think about it.
What I want to know is what circumstances in your mind would be okay to want to be adopted. When would you seek being adopted? Because I want to explore both points.
As an adult, I would not.
Tell me why.
Because I'd be trying to move on with my life.
Okay, you say that, but everybody that watches the podcast and everybody that knows us knows that we have late fulfillment in life. I'm 45, and I've only been doing something that I truly, truly cherish other than raising my children for the past 3 years because I sort of put my life on hold for a while, right? And lost myself, in my own crap. And you sort of had the same experience, but you were in the military, so you were off all the time. And you're just now kind of living your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the past 7 years, I have transitioned from female to male. And in the past 3 years, you've transitioned the other way. So we did the old switcheroo. We probably could have used someone adopting us, right? In that weird time where we didn't know what the hell we were doing, we could have used it, but we never would have thought about it because my dad's still alive, and your parents at the time were still alive, right?
Yeah.
So we would call them.
And you can. There's many ways you can adopt somebody, spiritually. You don't have to go through and do legal documentation. You get a judge to sign off on it. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's my point. That then obligates you as a family member. So let's talk about that. In that event, it makes sense. But in that event, it makes sense if you really want somebody to fill the role as the grandchild or the child of the person in the family. I can understand that. So in that event, it makes sense if you are the one and only Prince of Germany.
Yeah, that's one of
then
them.
you would adopt someone to carry on that name. That I could see, right? But still, just go change your name and say that that's who you are.
They didn't really talk much about that, guys.
Not yet. We have to watch it, so no spoilers. That's tonight. See, that's why I'm talking about it right now, because we're gonna stay up late tonight, because it's hootenanny night.
9:30. We're like,
I know. I talk such big shit. So I'm gonna burn a few bowls, and we're gonna watch this stuff into the ground. And I'm gonna go get my chocolate first, so that'll ensure I stay awake. I'll give myself a reward. It's so dumb. That was so dumb. Okay.
You're really crunching on them now.
Really? Because you're not already? Because it kind of sounds like you are.
Nope.
And you have the lid off of your tea, and it's sitting down there, and it's making me panic.
So I don't have to take the lid off to get a drink.
Oh, my God. Okay, yeah, it makes you panic too, right?
It's down here way out of the way. I can't even touch it unless I reach down to grab it.
I am in the bubble. Leave me alone. Okay, so Carol, what is your take on the adult adoption?
I think it's unnecessary for them to legally adopt.
Right, there's no real reason.
Strangers. If it's a distant family member that needs to be legally adopted for some reason.
For legal reasons, right?
That's different. But the situations they're portraying,
No, like maybe
medical type
special
stuff.
Needs kind of person.
Yeah,
right.
Legally needed.
I could totally understand that. Yeah,
not
absolutely.
the way it is with what
Okay,
they're
so
portraying.
we've talked essentially then about 3 reasons. One would be a financial, right? One would be a medical. And then the other would be to carry on the family
title.
name. Yeah, the title, right? So the entitlement. So that's 3 reasons, the only 3 reasons that I can see it might make sense. But that's only after you make sense of the fact that somebody actually requires that, right? So then it becomes that spiritual driven need. And you say, okay, why do I need someone to carry on my name, my entitlement? Why do I need that? So is that looking at something as an egotistical type thing in this world? Are you then being egotistical to want your entitlement to carry on through the ages? So much so that you didn't even earn that title because that's not your investment.
Right.
You invested in them just before you died. You did shit for them, right? So is it fair to do that, in your opinion? Because this is all opinion, you know. And opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, and most of them stink.
Well, at the end of the day, regardless of what I think, people are free to do whatever they please, and they're all consenting adults.
Naturally,
So-
yeah. It's not a question of morality. It's a question of value, and that's why I'm asking. Because if we are going to judge ourselves in the society we choose, part of the society that we've chosen to live in accepts adult adoptions.
Yes.
On cases that I don't understand. So it's my duty as part of this population to say, how can I understand this further? So I'm interested to know. And I'm not judging it other than I don't understand it. So for me to fully accept and use that, right, as one of those things that I might refer someone to do, because, you know, I get to do that for people. I get to refer people for special services, right?
Right.
So if adult adoption is a service that I think one of my clients would benefit from, why wouldn't I offer it?
Is
So I
adult-
do
is
try to figure it out.
adoption the same thing as like say if there was a person that was a special needs person, and so
You
somebody
can
else
just
would
have
take
power of attorney, right?
legal custody, right? Just and not like so much an adoption, but they would gain legal custody in order to provide care. Isn't that how that works?
That's what I'm assuming.
So you can have power of attorney to have custody, to give medical power of attorney so that you can have them treated.
Right.
To actually have them covered under your insurance would not be the same thing.
Okay.
You would have to legally
Adopt
be their guardian.
them.
They would
Okay.
be adopted.
So that's one I understand. That is a good point, and I get it.
Is that what it would be considered though, an adoption?
I would have to assume so.
Okay.
I don't know. You would have to. Really
Yeah, I
look
want to
into
look
the
into
medical
that.
law surrounding that and what the insurance companies may have now that it's become a thing. There might
Yeah.
now be caveats added onto their policies.
Ooh,
but-
right. Yeah.
And even then, like with certain children covered under their parents' policies, only to a certain age now, I think like 24, they have to have their own policy. It's
Yeah,
going to be
something
different
like
things,
that.
but I mean, legalities of it.
Okay, so let's just say then that it makes sense that that would be something in order to maintain health insurance or really life. Well, you could get life insurance without being related.
Right.
But to manage health insurance, that would be a thing. And probably other sorts of contracts like that, I would assume, you know.
Right, yeah. Inheritance.
So care contracts, stuff like that. And inheritance. So that I can get. But on the spiritual level, why do you think that someone would want to be adopted as an adult?
I can only think that, maybe that they didn't have parents, and they just had this need to have that checkbox done
To
in their
fulfill
life.
that role?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've watched a couple and it seems like one of them's kind of like that they want to experience what it's like to have parents. But the thing is that really an experience that everyone has? No. So in a quest to be someone like everyone else, they're separating themselves, right? So in a quest to feel just like they assume everyone in the world feels, then they separate themselves into a category that really is confusing for people, right? It goes against what we understand in our society. So it's hard to understand. And we do that just outside of adult adoptions. Why can I not say that? Don't say because I'm dumb.
Because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because I'm not meant to say that crap.
Exactly.
Okay, so I want to put this to bed, but it doesn't feel resolved for me. You know, I'm gonna keep watching the show, and I'm gonna try to gain some more understanding. I just can't come up with a reason in my life that I would need it spiritually. I can't come up with a reason that I wouldn't be able to fulfill or appreciate who I did have. Right? Because like my mom wasn't like the typical mom. My dad wasn't either. And I say typical based on what we know in society as TV and, you know, our friends and crap, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where did you mostly learn about family relationships, Beth? Because you came from a home that was broken.
I think I gained
Don't bake.
most
This
of
is
that.
an intriguing thing.
Most of that family value of, I guess, just family togetherness. When I lived in Houston and I was around my aunt and uncles a lot because everybody was so tight knit and
Your Uncle Rick.
in it together. You know, and
Yeah.
it didn't matter what was going on.
So they were like the facts of life family. Like they had challenges all the time that you saw, but they would resolve before the end of the show.
Yeah, and that's what it always seemed like to me. I mean, I was from the Dallas area, so and I was always visiting during the summers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, visiting my grandparents and.
So
and,
summer's a good time though.
Yeah. It depends
Everybody's in a better mood in
It
summer.
depends on how you feel about Houston in the summertime.
Yeah, well, if you like water, then you're fine.
If you like breathing water.
Mm-hmm. Well, water in general.
And I guess that's that's where I gained that kind of like you sort of stick through it through thick and thin, and it's not like it's different with my other family and that's in North Texas. It's just I have more exposure
Yeah.
to my South Texas family during those years,
Right.
and so it's different to me.
And okay, so how did that determine how you went forward with your own family?
Well, understanding how my parents' relationship ended and how that dynamic in our life completely changed. I never wanted to experience that. I never wanted my kids to experience that. So,
So that,
I'm in it for the long haul.
So does that drive you to change, or does that drive you to simply adjust for now? You know what I mean?
It used to be adjust for now, and then
You sacrificed when you had to.
and now that I'm more sorted out, it's it's changed.
That's what sorted out. I like that. I'm gonna start using that. That's good. Because that's really what it is, and I think that we all three, after raising Oliver, know how sorting can go wrong. What none of y'all know is that Carol had to teach me how to stop sorting and stop being a little crazy, OCD. Carol has been around since like forever, so the part of the peak of my OCD she got to experience.
You've been around forever.
Yeah, like you have been for 10
Old
years.
as dirt.
Well, think about it, because
8 years.
Roy was 8, and he's 18 now.
No,
They're
but
18.
Oliver was 2, and he's 10.
Oh yeah, we
Wasn't
moved
there
there
for-
when he was. That's right. Well, we moved there when he was 8.
Feels
That's
like
what I was. Yeah. So it feels like you have an extra 2 years, but you've just been around 8. So well, that's better than a kick in the face with a golf shoe.
Sure, it's better than older than dirt.
Did I say older than dirt?
You've been around forever.
Okay, that doesn't say older than dirt.
In stereo.
Anyway,
Forever.
yes, I sorted you out.
Forever can mean
While I was
many
sorting
things.
out
Yeah,
other
you
things.
sorted me out while sorting through shit.
I knew
So
that forcing you to not put the crayons in the same order.
would create
forcing
this.
Oliver to not put the crayons.
I
in the
know,
same
right?
order.
God, it was like nuts. That, for real, like even now, whenever I see the crayons, because I have crayons in my little box here for the kids that come. So whenever I look in there and I see the crayons, they're the triangle crayons. They're just not the same ones, but they're triangle shaped, and it's like, Every time I look at them, I want to sort them to spite you. I want to line them up all nice and neat. So yeah, that's probably, that right there is why I could have used an adult adoption. Right? Because I clearly needed some help. But yet again, all I had to do was see somebody and use them as a mentor, right? That's what you do as an adult, don't you? You don't say, I need parents. You say, I can find a mentor. Unless you have one of those special circumstances like we talked about, health insurance. I can't think of a spiritual reason why, unless you need to resolve. That means, like actually go through the process, so then it's not a regret. But if you go through that process, you don't actually get rid of the regret because you're not that age anymore. You can never be that age.
And there's any time in your life, somebody can connect with, an elder type person and, and have a sort of spiritual
Experience,
adoption.
right.
Like maybe they just, hey, accept you as one of our own. All the time, we have friends that we become family with.
It kills me because it almost feels like they're doing it despite their caregiver or the person that raised them, That's just how I view it, as somebody who's not in it. And I hope that I'm wrong. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Well, some of these are messed up.
Yada.
Some of these
I
are
just
seriously
keep
messed
going
up.
back to this because it's crazy.
Because it's nothing is just cut and dry. It's not just some person that's out there that's like, I need some parents. There's a whole other set of circumstances that's going on with each person, and it's crazy.
That's what
Like
I was
one of
saying.
them,
It's crazy. Not adult adoption.
Like one of them
I can
has
understand
adopted
that.
parents.
Huh? Yeah. Come meet my parents that I'm adopting. Because essentially it's mutual. Because if you're consenting adults, you're mutually adopting each other. That doesn't make sense to me. Holy crap. Okay.
There is a huge difference between identifying people that you would introduce as, this is so and so, and they're like my other parents, like we're this close.
Yeah.
And saying these are the people that are adopting me, or that I'm adopting as my
It
parents.
it feels really different.
Big difference.
So I want a discussion about that crap. So I want Aunt Donna, Aunt Sarah, and even Uncle Frank. I want y'all to weigh in on, if somebody came up to y'all and was like, I really need parents, and I think y'all are the coolest people on the block, will you adopt me? Wouldn't you go, what the hell? Because I'm serious. Now, I would totally, if I thought I could get
like, what's your angle?
I know, if I could get away with it, I would have Donna adopt me, because I really want to be a cat on her ottoman. Like, I would do that. I would curl up in a little ball. Y'all know I'm furry enough for that crap. Cuddle up in a little ball and just lay there and just watch TV and eat food. I could do that. I would do that.
Under her giant portrait with the tree.
And the reason why I say cat, because she would have to adopt me as a cat. Because you can adopt pets, right, as an adult. You can adopt pets as an adult, and you can adopt children as an adult. But I'm not going to pretend to be a child. I'll pretend to be a cat versus a child.
Are you going to get a furry
It's
suit?
a little creepy, the extent to which you're drawing.
I would. Look. I could wear my unicorn onesie. She could adopt a unicorn.
We know somebody that can make you a suit.
Okay, you're going
Furry
way
suit.
somewhere else.
We know.
No.
You get a cat furry suit.
Okay. Anyway, moving so far on.
Ye who wears unicorn onesies.
Yes, I totally do, but that is a little bit different. So, this is my Aunt Donna. I'm talking about adopting me, and you're talking about me wearing a furry suit. So
As a
that's
cat.
just some
You
weird
wanted to
shit.
be a cat.
That's some weird shit. Okay. So I love you, Aunt
Didn't
Donna.
you say
I'm
you
sorry
wanted to
for
be a
all that
cat?
disrespect, because I don't even know what she's talking about. So,
Right.
You know what I was thinking about, though, when I was thinking about Aunt Donna? I would like her to come up with an idea for a big drape to go here, like in the office, and I have a couple things that I mull around in my head, and I want to ask her about her opinion because I like her style, and I think she's a pretty cool person to help with the interior design that I have in mind. Now, moving on, Beth. I have a client, a good friend, also Lori. You met her. I talk about her all the time. And she works at Urban, and she saw Joe, and so Joe now knows who she is. And I had a wonderful meeting with her today at 11:30. It was a spare of the moment meeting. And usually I just see my client one time a week. You know that's like the name of the podcast. Okay. So one day a week I see my clients, and I got to see her twice this week, but because today I was feeling under the weather, I didn't hug her. It's the first time since she came in that I didn't get her patented Lori hug. She does this thing that I want to know if y'all do. She does the rock back and forth. When you're really excited to see somebody and you hug them and you do the back and forth rock, she does that. She does the sister hug. That's what I call it, the sister hug. Do you hug your sister that way? Do you hug your sister?
I hug my sister. I don't do the rock back and forth, I don't think.
When you're excited to see her, like if it's been a while? Inquiring minds want to know. Now you're going to pay attention.
Well, see, this is a different circumstance because I've lived in the same state as my siblings my whole life.
Well, I
There
say
hasn't,
in a...
hasn't been a long time. So
Well,
it's
I
usually
don't mean a
frequently.
long time. I mean in a while, like a week. One
week.
day a week. Yeah. Do you?
There would not be a hug then. It'd be, why are you here? I just saw you last week. I'm just kidding. A little bit. No, we don't rock back and forth. I don't
You
think.
don't? I'm gonna pay attention to how you hug. What about you, Beth? Do you rock back and forth?
I don't know. You'd have to tell me if I do.
I will. You're more of the sneak around and squeeze, like an anaconda.
I know that when I got here, you did the rock back and forth.
Oh!
I guess I'm one of those.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so
That
that's
was a really great hug.
I was about okay, so I was about to say that is the most amazing hug because there's something that grounds you about motion, right? Okay, so if you can feel something exaggerated, it sticks with you and it gives you that good feeling and that adrenaline and everything. So my advice to every person listening right now is the next hug you give, you hug the person and you rock back and forth. It's pretty great. So I had to talk about Lori's hug because I got to see her today and I didn't get to hug her, and it made me sort of sad. But I wanted to be cautious, and she made business cards. She has a business now, and yeah, it's going to be great because it's photography, but a special kind. And I'm not going to expose anything right now. I'm going to let her have her little coming out, but I want to congratulate her really on that. And I have other clients that have their own businesses and that are, Lori works and is trying to start this business, right? And my other client also, Ashley, is doing the same thing. Because she is very creative, very talented, and she's the one that made us the fudge. So, okay, I haven't told Carol this yet, so I'm about to tell her, and y'all get to hear firsthand her reaction. Okay.
God.
So I know, and so Ashley gets to hear it too, so this will be amazing. That means she has to listen to the podcast.
It's a really big, it's a lot of pressure.
It is. Okay, so she's making us some of the peanut butter fudge again, but this time she's putting the magic shell chocolate over the top.
Oh my God.
I know. So it'll be okay. She did the happy food clap. Yes, we all know that. So we're very excited
No
about it.
one can ever talk to me while I'm eating.
I know. It's gonna
a very
be.
personal experience.
We're gonna be like the chinchillas. We're gonna grab our little treat and then go off in the corner and eat it privately so no one watches.
Yes.
It's okay. So you see that? You see what happens, and this is why I didn't get one. Okay. So I was about to talk about that too.
It's a great
So
Chalk blocks.
Great.
So yes, chalk blocks. That's exactly what I thought about. I love this desk chair. It's not actually a desk chair. It's a chair that came from the hotel.
You just got to watch it off.
You what? Yeah, it's great.
There's a
Isn't
lag
it?
in
Yeah,
there.
it's there's a lag. So, but I knew that it would happen, and I've been waiting because I move around so much. I'm gonna do it again. Watch, I'm gonna start drifting. But it just means I love you. You're sitting on the low
Watch
point.
toes.
Yeah. And so my lovely dad, because this is the chair that we had in Germany, and it's the most comfortable chair for me, and I love it. I was looking at it the other day, and I was like, I really need this to move because I'm scooting it so much across the wood floor, and it sounds awful and it's tearing up shit. So I was like, it needs casters on it. And then in my head, when I put casters on the legs, it looked stupid. And so I was like, oh, it doesn't need casters. It needs one of the the office chair bases. And as soon as I said that, in pops Dad, and I'm like, okay, so I know you have these bases that you took off these chairs that we had because you said one day you would use them. Well, today's the day, and I pitched the idea. Now, my dad is not known for his efficiency, so to speak, I guess. And his timeline is ADHD. That's all I can say. ADD at least. And so he takes him a while sometimes. And I got this chair back in 2 days. So I'm pretty happy.
That's record time.
But it's amazing. But like I explained before to y'all, it's going to have to go back down to the basement because he's going to put some stain on it and do a couple other things like sand off some spots where he cut off the legs because he put the base on, cut the legs off. It looks good, right?
I think it looks perfect the way it is.
Yeah. Well,
I
it
think,
doesn't because
glitter tutu around it would be just as good.
yes, you and Alex are going to do glitter tutu for
Yeah.
me. Did you put a message on Facebook for people?
I did.
Okay, if y'all are watching me, y'all need to share me. I want to be shared everywhere. You know I deserve it. I deserve to be shared. There's people
Put
that...
it in positively entertaining. You want it on your page?
Yeah, put it on my page. That's where you're supposed to put it. Jeez Louise. That's where people wait till... I'm teasing you.
Is that where your
You
fan-
know,
fan
yeah.
base is?
That's where my fans are. That's what the kids say. Lucas in particular. He's all...
Yeah.
Do your fans bother you all the time? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. I mean, like, my phone is off the hook all the time. And he's like, what does off the hook mean? And that's when it occurred to me. And so you can ask anybody that's younger than you, you can look at them and go, pretend you're answering the phone. And if they go like this, they're no friend of yours. They must know the banana. So if they don't answer the phone like this, you've done
Zoomer.
something wrong. Okay? So teach them this is a slap. This is not a phone. Speaking of slap. Speaking of
You
slap.
can tell them that.
So lovely Carol goes and gets us coffee and a pastry from Scooters this morning.
Yes.
Okay, and I will say Scooters, yummy, delicious stuff. So she comes in with the cinnamon rolls, and you inform us that they are slapping.
That's what I was told.
Slapping. That's what
The
she was told
recommendation.
at Scooters. I've never felt more old in my life when you come in and say it after Alex has said it continuously, and I'm like, stop it. That's
That
no.
was not my.
But it amused me that I heard it in your voice. Came out of your mouth. Whether you meant it or not, it's like,
I'm way younger than you.
yeah,
Okay.
way. So much younger.
Way.
Like, I am so much younger than Beth. Beth is the,
Right.
Beth is the old maid, or the old hag, not the old maid. The old hag in the group.
I'm not sure that the old hag is better than the old maid. Where did that come
Yeah.
from? Why did you
Well,
have
the
to
old
correct
maid
it?
is non-married.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
I guess it would be
and
the old
she-
hag
yeah. So
then.
you're the old hag.
What's a crone?
Oh, maybe you're a crone. I don't know. What is it? Hey,
Old
Google.
witch.
What is old crone?
According to Wikipedia, in folklore, a crone is an old woman who may be characterized as disagreeable, malicious, or sinister in manner.
Yeah.
Or supernatural associations that can make her either helpful or
You're a
obstructive.
crone.
To find out more, look for the link in your Google Home or Google Assistant app.
Oh, okay. Hey, Google, stop. Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry, but she did the evil eye. I don't like that. So that's awesome.
You are the best ever.
Okay, look, I'm the one that's got connections. I have a voodoo doll. I have,
You're the wisest among us.
Yeah, well, I was pretty stupid tonight, wasn't I?
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to her.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, you are pretty wise. So, do y'all hear my singing bowl whenever I cleanse the room?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay. It was pretty loud the other day, and I was like, man, why is it like 10 times louder than it usually is? And then I realized I had a death grip on it, so it's like I was going, like I was churning butter. And it's that mindfulness that snapped me back, and I was like, oh.
I've never had churned butter before, so I don't know.
You are an old crone and you've never had to churn butter?
No. I always went to the store and bought it.
What kind of old crone? How do you answer a phone? Not like that. I go, hey Google, who's on the phone?
Here is some information
Stop.
about
Hey Google,
who's on
stop.
the phone.
Stop. Hey Google, stop. Wow.
That's why we say goggles.
I know, I forget. I forget that I have to have a damn burner account to talk around Google. That's what it feels like. Pete's got burner accounts everywhere. He's funny. Funny looking too. I've seen a picture of him. And okay, so Ashley does Scentsy. Are you ready? Okay, y'all are gonna get to hear the reaction. I told her today that we needed more bulbs for the Scentsy, and she said that Scentsy has colored bulbs. She goes, what color do you want? And I was like, what? And she said, we have the entire rainbow of colors. So y'all know I got 2 purple ones for me. So whatever, y'all suck. Y'all get the plain, ugly, clear ones, and I get purple. Because at night, I have to turn it off because it keeps me up because it's too bright. Because I am bright enough on my own.
So does the other purple one go in the bedroom?
Negatron.
With the other Scentsy that's on at night that burns a hole in my forehead?
Yeah.
You can cover that. So you just divulged something. You just indicated that you have a Scentsy separate than mine. That means we have
No, there's
2.
one here on that side of the room, and on my side of the bed, where
So
if I open my eyes, there it is. Pow. I'm just playing. It's not that bad.
So we have one in every room. I'm gonna confess.
don't even
Literally
notice
every
it.
room in this house has a Scentsy, other than the bathrooms, which is where we need the
Where they should be
Scentsy.
the most.
So
Seems like it. You put
Speaking
them all
of-
in there.
I have some nightlight ones boxed up for the bathroom.
okay, good. So that'll help.
Whenever we get this thing moved here.
Unfortunately, it won't help that much. But my wonderful daughter got me the poopery stuff because apparently I stink. And so I got news for y'all. I forget to use it most of the time. So who's the joke really on?
The rest of it.
Yeah, right. So
No, Alex,
yeah.
she doesn't use our bathroom. You need
I
somebody in the
know,
bathroom.
right?
Wait, Alex, you need in there? Hold on, let me go in there real quick.
Yeah. Speaking of, we had a little bit of a situation that we had to solve, and I did it with my dangerous brain powers. I solved our plumbing problem with a single thought. Drano. What makes the drain flow? Drano, Drano. How effective are slogans?
Honestly, with Drano, I didn't even know that they had a slogan.
Okay, well, not with Drano, but Lori today, did her business cards, and she has a very catchy slogan, and I was extremely excited about it. And now it's stuck in my head, so I keep saying it over and over. And I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't know, if she's going to use it or not, or, what it's going to develop into. And I just keep saying it in my head. So if y'all hear me say a random phrase after this and it has nothing to do with anything, it's because I have OCD and this thing's in my head. So there you go.
I think it's one of the other millions of
Weird things I say.
you say in your head.
Okay. Are y'all excited about no harm, no foul?
Yes.
Yes.
Now I get to tell people what it is. They're like, did I miss something? Like how we do when we watch something, we're like, is that on? So this is, understand, this is the introduction right now, the outing of a new support group for preteens and teens that are at risk for self-harm behavior. Okay, and it is called No Harm, No Foul. And it's going to be Wednesday evenings here from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock every other Wednesday. And so I will do a live podcast on Facebook with Joe, a live cast with Joe on Wednesdays. And then the next Wednesday we will have a peer support group. And my other client, Bree, who I got to take out for ice cream on Thursday, right?
Yes.
Thursday, for putting in the time and effort in the program. They get a reward for good behavior. That's what we say, a reward for good behavior. And not a Necco wafer, because they're not 100. So we went and had ice cream, and it was fantastic, and we had a wonderful chat and convinced her to be part of the peer group. And so I'm going to have her heading it up, and I think that it's going to be amazing and awesome, and I want to have her do some of the online stuff with it. So that's something to look forward to, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Very much so.
And I think that every community needs one, not just LGBT, not just Illinois, not just here, but every single community needs a local preteen and teen support group. Don't you think?
I agree.
Because they need it. Okay, so speaking of preteen, we have to talk about Lucas, our adorable Lucas, who is doing so well to become aware of who he is. And he has this fashion sense that's killer. Like me, right? So he likes to wear a trench coat. So one of my clients, and I'm not going to mention names because I don't want it to be that, one of my clients divulged today that their kid also likes to wear a trench coat. That's the chinchilla making racket. Likes to wear a trench coat, only they were not calling it a trench coat. They were calling it a drench coat. And so mother said, you're not getting a trench coat until you stop calling it a drench coat. And so kid got...
That's adorable.
No, kid got their trench coat, and it's like the best thing in the world to them. And I can identify with that feeling, and so can you, because you have your whoobies. So you have your whoobies, and I have my Mr. Rogers cardigan, and Carol, you have your hoodies.
Yeah.
And so vices all across the board. So it makes me feel pretty normal.
Overall, I guess we kind of are, in a monster sort of way.
Yeah.
I have not connected with Aunt Sarah to find out how Lindsay's doing. I have been totally stuck in my own self, and I need to do that. So I want to know.
She gave us an update on Wednesday, didn't she?
Was it Wednesday? I can't remember what day it was. I need to make sure, but because that's something that weighs heavy on me.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that I have them in my thoughts. Now, the big question about that is that I want to ask y'all, and y'all have to be honest, not just the people that are listening, but you too. When you say that you're going to think about somebody, do you?
Yes.
When you say, I will have you in my thoughts and prayers, or I'll think about you, do you actually think about them?
Yeah, I'll spend at least 5 minutes, just focusing, just thinking about them, just so that,
Oh, yeah, it was Wednesday.
I guess, until we get to the point where we feel like, it's like, if there's nothing physically that you can actually do, this is, that's the most I can do, and I'll give the time as much as I can.
Okay, you?
Concerted effort a couple of times throughout the day during meditation.
Okay. So you find that meditating helps to make sure that you bring those thoughts out, right? That's what I do. I have my times that I meditate. Sometimes it's 5 or 6 times in a day. It depends on if I'm struggling or not.
Yeah.
I always meditate at least twice a day, morning and night. And it helps my body to know when I need to start and when I need to stop. That's what I tell myself, right, in my mind. It helps me do that. So I deliberately put in the effort that you were talking about, I think about the person, and I think about what their struggle is, and then I think about if I've ever had that struggle, right? If I've ever had that same feeling, so then I can really get underneath it to the depth. And a lot of the time, I can't have empathy. I can't feel it because I don't understand it. Like the adult adoption thing.
Yeah.
I can't get under it because I don't have that experience. I have experiences that are very similar to how these people grew up, but I don't share their feeling. So I have pity for those people, right? Because I can't share the feeling.
They're in a place, I guess, right now where, that they need this, and it has, I guess they have, some kind of hurt they don't want to look at.
Yeah, and it's painful to watch sometimes, right? Like, because when you pity someone and your situation's similar to theirs, like you've experienced kind of what they've gone through, their situation, but not their feeling, you're kind of torn. You pity them, but you feel bad for yourself too. You pity them because they're seeking an adoption, for a situation that you're familiar with, a broken home. If they're seeking that spiritual one. Or if it's a medical one, maybe you've been in that situation. So you try to identify with them,
Yeah,
and have compassion, but at the end of the day, you still pity them. So is that wrong? Is it wrong to pity them?
I mean, I can't say whether it's right or wrong.
I'm talking about for you, and you can say you're the one that judges it.
Yeah, I don't think it's wrong. I mean, in certain
So
circumstances.
you feel okay to pity them?
Yeah, I can't really empathize with it. So.
Yeah.
But it's just thinking about like one of them's husband is like.
Yeah. What do you do, right? So do you?
So yeah, what can you do?
Do you feel okay pitying them, Carol? Or are you like me? Are you torn because you don't want to put forth the effort to try and understand it because it seems so pitiful? Right? So I struggle with that. I struggle to say I need to understand this because I have felt heartache, of not having who in my mind should have been the perfect parent. Right? Or an experience that I regret not having. I can't say I would do it for that.
I don't know. I mean, I do think that there are times when I can't grasp the ability to feel compassion or sympathy to that extent, but I don't know if it's, to me, pity has a negative connotation that I'm not sure I can feel for it, so.
Okay, well, yeah, pity's not a negative word. It's like deserve. Pity is truly, if you don't have
neutral words,
right,
but I
but
know what you're saying.
If you don't have compassion for them because you don't share the empathy, right? If it's not the same feeling, if it's sympathy instead of empathy, then it's pity. Because it's a pitiful situation. It's out of your control. It's not your situation, so then you would pity them.
Yeah.
not yourself, right?
Right.
So you say your situation really sucks. It is pitiful because they're pitying themselves,
Right.
right? If they're throwing a pity party, they're asking for you to pity them also.
Right.
And so sometimes it's just pitiful even if they're not asking for it. And that's the question. Do you pity someone when they're not asking for the pity, or do you tell them that they're being pitiful? So do they need Jesus or do they need a life coach? You know?
That's a good question.
Right, because I don't want to be judgmental about it. That's my issue, but I'm human.
Yeah.
Beth, you're human, right? You're not an alien.
Unfortunately.
You know what?
I'm part of the human condition.
You are part of the human condition. Oh, what kind of alien would you have been?
Oh, probably a
What
bird one for
species?
sure.
Oh,
Would
yeah,
not be-
you're total. Okay, I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking because
Oh,
you're like
please,
lighter than
like-
air and you're flaky all the time. I'm serious. Like I see you like I see chickens in a chicken yard.
And,
You know, like a
you've
chicken
never
with their head
compared
cut
my
off.
nose to Lois's nose.
Okay, that's a sandwich, not a beak. That was a sandwich, a half a sandwich, not a beak. So what would you have been? What kind of alien species?
I don't know. I don't know.
I would be a buffalo. I'd be like from the land mammals. Some sort of like freaky, I don't even know. But let's see, there's the bird, there's the reptile. Oh my God, that is loud.
Can anybody hear that?
Okay, put one in your mouth and crunch. I'm gonna look at the display. A brand new one. We're doing the crunch test.
That one was chocolate.
Oh my God,
Okay, here we go. Wait, you want me to get close to the mic?
okay, just right there where you're sitting. First, let's judge there. Oh my God! It's really loud. Like, you're gonna cause ear damage. Okay, so how to get caught. Eat Necco wafers.
Yeah, this is not food for ninjas.
No, and you're supposed to be a ninja. Wow, that's intense. Okay.
I'm an off-duty ninja.
So we are concluding this positively entertaining conversation. You might as well be eating damn lasagna noodles. Here, let me go grab a fistful of spaghetti noodles. Like that's what it sounds like. That's
Yeah.
some freaking shit there,
Right.
babe. Wow, I'm hiding them when we're done.
5,000
So-
foot-pounds of pressure.
Okay, so I was looking forward to tonight's podcast, and I got it out of my system, and now we're gonna watch it. And
Right.
I might need to go. Did you hear my chair?
What the
I
hell?
heard
I
you.
swear it was my
Right
chair.
around the chair.
I would so own that. That was impressive. I forget that that's what happens to these. See, I have a leaf blower, and you know that's
too, I
gonna
haven't
happen
done it.
too. I know. I'm going to. That was the chair. Criminy. Okay,
I
guys.
heard my phone chirp, but I don't know where it is.
Up your butt. You love me and you know it. Okay, so did y'all have a good time
Yeah,
answering lame questions?
sure.
I had a good time. Did you have a good time?
I did. It was fun.
I love you.
I love you too.
Love you.
I love you.
Thank you.